welcome in everybody to the dojo today. We're going to do some coaching with Burns224. All right, if you're ready, you're already 2 games into. Okay, let's see if we can turn this set around. Starting the set, starting the day in 0-2 hole. That's all right. We'll see where we go from here. If you're ready to jump into the first one, I'm going to go ahead and mute you and let's get the first game going. Stream's going to be a little uneven, I think, based off our testing, but should be pretty trackable. Well, maybe it's going to be really hard for me to count, chat, if it's going to freeze up like this every once in a while. This is his safe swap. It's an air/mandibuzz. That looked like maybe 5, so that's not enough for them to get to a Dazzling Gleam. I like the call to no-shield that. And then they have a Toga Kiss, chat. I haven't seen one of those yet, this Ultra Premier rotation, but they are out there. No deny, so the full charm comes through. But we've baited out the Charmer, right, chat? This is an ABB line. We have a Steel type lead. We have a Dark type and a Fighting type in the back. So we're trying to bait out these Charmers so that our Shadow Machamp can sweep. So we're just trying to do as much chip damage as we can here. And then... Wait, what? Chat, that was... we'll definitely ask Burns what he was thinking there at the end of this game. That felt like a really aggressive swap to bring in the Machamp into the Charmer. It didn't register it as a swap. His Mandibuzz died and he brought this in? Pretty confused about that, chat. I think that if he had come in with the G-Fisk, he could have farmed up to maybe 2 moves and then thrown, tanked 1 flamethrower. He'd still have his Shadow Machamp right now. We'll see what's in the back, chat. Maybe he's making the hard read. He thinks there's a second Charmer back there, which would make this call make a little more sense. But Poison double Charms just like triple weak to fire, so I don't know that's what I expect. I expect maybe a Water type in the back. But sometimes you see teams that just don't make sense, chat. So, but it'll be interesting what Burns' take on the situation was. We're now out of shields. They're just throwing weather balls. What's up, Justin P. James? Solaceon. And it is a Water type in the back, as I hypothesized. So I think if we'd come in with the Stunfisk, we could have maybe done a little bit more work there, but we'll bring Burns back in. And all right, Burns, what do you think about that game?
I don't know why the switch was so fast after at the Togekiss.
Yeah, when you brought in,
I wanted to do Pokemon popped up too fast.
Mm-hmm.
That was a little bit weird.
So you didn't mean to click on the Machamp there?
No, of course not.
I didn't know if maybe, like, I was trying to figure out what you might be thinking. Maybe you thought there was a second Charmer back there or something, but yeah, that was rough.
Yeah. It would be GG's anyway because the Swamp would go on my G-Fisk.
Definitely hoping that doesn't happen again. But I like, if you saw a lead that was not good for your G-Fisk, you swapped out to your safe swap, like, up through that point of the game, like you didn't shield your Mandibuzz at all. You did as much damage as you could to the Togekiss. I think like you were playing well up to that point, and then just it's an unfortunate. You don't know. I don't know what happened there either. That was weird. But we'll see if maybe we can get the game working a little cleaner on the next one. Stream seemed okay. It's like getting a little slow a couple times, but it catches back up. So I'm gonna have trouble like doing counts to know exactly what moves people are at sometimes, but we can still definitely talk about strategy and compositions.
Okay.
All right, let's get to the next one. So this is a Stunfisk mirror lead. So he should have a pretty good idea of when his opponent is at moves, and it's just a question of does he bait or not. Looks like maybe we got an extra mud shot through. Hard to tell. We'll see if he shields here. I generally like shielding here. He does shield, and it was the Earthquake. Gets a clean deny here. You can see them sync up there. No mud shot coming through as his animation starts. Also going for the EQ. I like that as well. Opponent no shields it. I think you can shield here. Goes for a rock slide. I don't think that this is lethal, but it might put them in range where then we can shield once and mudshot down. Yeah. So it's not lethal. Opponent's still going to get to an Earthquake here. Opponent, this is a Steel type lead. They should have anti-fighters in the back. A lot of times anti-fighters struggle against Steel types. So it wouldn't have been too crazy from my perspective had Burns shielded that. But opponent then, realizing they're going to lose switch anyway, immediately gives up the switch, bringing in a Gallade. And we have a counter swap for that's pretty good. Like, we're going to resist the Leaf Blades. The close combat is neutral. And you can see there that it takes 3 of those to kill a Mandibuzz, chat. And now his defense is harshly fallen. I think I would have liked us to charge up a little bit more here. But obviously I'm struggling with the counts because the game is hitching a little. But if we could have gone right up to them throwing the 8th Confusion there, chat, and then thrown before that, we would have been in a really good spot with some extra energy for this Venusaur that's coming in. This is a composition that kind of makes sense. It's a Steel double grass, kind of like a Yonkus from earlier seasons with a, I think it was Magnezone, Gallade, and Venusaur. Oftentimes, Gallade pulls out whatever the Venusaur counter is from the other team. So makes a little more sense now that our opponent would swap out their G-Fisk at low HP to try to bait out an answer. But Mandibuzz in Ultra League, very thick, chat. Opponent catching the Aerial Ace here. We could probably just have no-charged this and brought in our Machamp to farm this down. He's still going to switch to his... was thinking about it and is going to swap to the Machamp. We just need to go for a Cross Chop here. The Venusaur did have a little bit of a farm lead on us, so it's going to get to the move before we do. If we got an extra counter through there, chat, I could not tell if we did. But if we got an extra counter through there and denied here, we would CMP tie on the next one and Machamp would win that CMP. But it looks like they got a Vine Whip back through. So I expect them to get to a Frenzy Plant and KO us before we get to another... Yep, one counter before we get to this Cross Chop. That's okay, we still have the Mandibuzz with enough health to Air Slash this down. 1 Air Slash, 2 Air... Oh, chat, this is going to be really close, actually. They did a good job of farming right up to when we could throw moves. So good job by our opponent. But we have a Rock Slide ready on the G-Fisk as well. Because when they swapped out their G-Fisk, we were at the EQ, and we counter-swapped. So good job by Burns saving that energy for later in the game when it could win us the game. We'll bring him back in here because that match is over. All right, what do you think about that one, Burns?
Yeah, it was better. Yeah, not too much hard decisions to make, I guess. Yeah. Except for shielding the Earthquake or not.
Yeah.
On the start.
Mm-hmm. No, I like shielding the first one there and then throwing your Earthquake and see what they do. And we were in a good spot once we shielded their Earthquake. I was curious why you threw the Rock Slide at their G-Fisk.
I wasn't sure how much damage it does. I thought maybe the sheep.
Yeah.
To get the move off from their side.
So now that you know how much damage it does, would you throw that Rock Slide again next time?
No.
Yeah, good read. I like that.
I would tank the Earthquake, I guess, and just farm it down. Should be possible from this range.
Yeah. Depends on your health, yeah. In the Gallade Mandibuzz matchup, I wasn't able to count how many confusions they threw, but I liked your decision to no-shield the first close combat. You saw how much damage that did, and I was curious if you tried to farm as much as you could before they got to the second close combat, or if you threw that Aerial Ace a little early.
Yeah, I think they were at 7.
Okay, then that was played really well too. I mean, the opponent even made a good catch on one of your Aerial Aces, but we're still in a good spot. And I also wanted to compliment you on when they brought the Gallade in. A lot of times it's really tempting to throw that energy from your G-Fisk right there. And I thought you did a good job of saving that energy for later in the match and just swapping to your counter swap. So that was
that's why I swapped the Mandy at the end, because the winner had throw, or I could have fast move it down to finish with the Rock Slide on my G-Fisk.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm ready for the next one if you are.
Okay. Yep.
All right, let's do it. There we go, chat. That's better. Opponent goes to a fighter, so we immediately counter swap with our Air/Mandy. Taking neutral damage from these counters, but they almost certainly have Leaf Blade, which we resist, and most Sirfetches are not running Brave Bird. They're running Leaf Blade and Night Slash to help with the Psychic type and Ghost types. I mean, Jellicent, you can run either one, but there are some other ghosts. Yesterday I saw quite a few Gengars, actually. It was one of the more common things I saw in the back of people's lines. So I like the decision, just go to the Mandy here. We don't need to shield anything. And they bring a Driftblim in. To our Dark type chat. That seems pretty weird. I guess they're thinking, I don't think Icewind even kills from here, so I don't think he needs to shield this. It's a non-stab Icy Wind. Yep, as we can see there, does not KO. And should survive 2 Hex. Oh, they swapped a catch. Nice catch on their Blaziken. This will be resisted damage. But now we can go to our Shadow Machamp. And we can just shield and counter this down. There's like no way that Driftblim can KO our G-Fisk, even down a shield. Dr. Roastbeef asking the trick questions. And then they're going to bring their Driftblim back in. We're almost at 2 Rock Slides already. And we still have full health G-Fisk, so this feels like it's a lock. So opponent had, the Driftblim was the lead, because they swapped out to the other Mon. So it doesn't matter if they farm down here. The G-Fisk is still very healthy. If he was trying to be fancy, he'd like show, if you were trying to be fancy here, you would click on the G-Fisk and immediately swap to the other Mon, because it's very likely they're throwing right away there. But we can just, we shield the first one, we'll tank this one, get to a Rock Slide, should be GG. Because, they still need 2 Shadow Balls from here, and there's no way they can get to 2 because they just dropped all their energy. Well, they dropped 90. There's just no way they can get to 2 Shadow Balls before we can get to 2 Rock Slides, even if this Rock Slide did not KO. But it does. So that's a GG. All right, Burns, what do you think about that one?
Yeah, it went well. Don't know if I should throw the move from Mandy Boss. Try to undercharge it to get a little farm.
Yeah. Yeah, either way there, it's going to be resisted damage on the Blaziken, and I guess you want to make sure you do enough damage to the Blaziken that you can kill the Blaziken before it gets to 2 moves. Because let me double check real quick. I think Blaziken wins CMP against Machamp. So let me just confirm that real quick. Because that would make it pretty important, because they're going to get to the Blaze Kick the same time you get to Cross Chomps. My other monitor's blocking. Yeah, so Blaziken definitely wins CMP there. It's actually 4. So they get to the first one 1 counter slower, but they swapped in and caught, and they might have got a counter there. So if you want to... Yep. I think undercharging some is good, but you don't want to undercharge too much. Generally speaking, because you want to make sure that you can counter it down before it gets to a couple moves. But you were in a commanding position already because you knew they had a Driftblim at 30% and you still had a full health G-Fisk.
Yep.
So I don't mind the undercharge there to just make sure you come out of that matchup. And you did come out with almost 2 Rock Slides, and that put them in a really bad spot. So I liked the way you played that one, and the comps lined up really well for you. The Air/Mandy is doing work. I think that's been a pretty good choice for your team.
Yeah, I guess does the work against a fighter as it's supposed to.
Yeah, yep. Snarl definitely would have a harder time there against the Sirfetched. So And we did. I mean, the other game, even though it made a mistake, like something happened that game that brought out the wrong mon off the switch. Like it did bait out the Charmer, which is what we wanted that game as well. So it's been
Yeah.
You know, in those 3 games we went 2-1. Feels pretty good so far. I like the way the team's working. I'm sure we'll find some hard matches here, but so far I'm pretty pleased with what you've put together. Let's see the damage here. Hope it like lag. What's your rating at now?
56.
Okay, cool. Yeah, rocking over. It's like a 57% win rate for the season. Pretty solid. Almost. I mean, you've almost caught your final score from last season already. We're 3 weeks in, so seems like you've been improving. If you're ready for the next game, let's go for it. Immediately into the Mandibuzz. Opponent goes to... Hey, we brought the Swampert out here. If we can flip this matchup, that'll be really huge for us. Although they are a couple counters in, and Sirfetch'd does win CMP over Shadow Machamp, so it's not really a Shadow Machamp favored matchup. Sirfetch'd just like kind of generally not good for us. Haven't seen yet, but I assume we no-shielded that first Hydro Cannon. It's getting a little choppier, chat. Hopefully it cleans back up here in a little bit. Yeah, we no-shield the first one. I like that call. I think we can no-shield one more based off our current HP. Like a Sludge Wave won't kill us from here, so there's no real risk of any one move killing us. So again, he no-shields. That's pretty nice. And then can we... Oh, I would have... Ooh, okay, we still get the foul play here before they get to another move. I think they overfarm, chat. I don't think we should get to this foul play before they get to the 3rd Hydro. So opponent farming up quite a bit here. And now the shields come out. Can we shield twice and air slash down? That's the question. Coming in with another aerial ace here against... I assume that's this Venusaur. Okay. So opponent, no real answer for this Mandy. I think we need to come in with the G-Fisk here, because it only takes neutral damage from this. Like, one Frenzy Plant essentially deletes a Shadow Machamp. So the G-Fisk actually a better matchup here. And then the Machamp actually has play against the Swampert. You can survive... Against the Sirfetch'd, you can survive one move. Oh, he comes in with this here. Can we catch? Goes for the catch. So he stored a move on his Machamp. The question is, can he get to a move against the Sirfetch'd to eat that shield, right? He needs that shield out of the picture. Can he just farm down here? Oh, hopefully it didn't register that. I think he can actually... He might be able to get farm down here? Opponent swaps out, giving up their switch now to eat this Rock Slide on the Swampert. There's still a Sirfetch'd, right, chat? I don't remember us killing the Sirfetch'd, but it has been kind of like slideshowy a little bit. Discord is being angry. Frames, still have all our frames. I'm still here. Hello? But Discord is very confused right now. And Discord's back in action. Alright. We survive one Leaf Blade. Does opponent still has the shield. I don't think we survive. We need to throw 3 more counters. What's up, Memmy? I do vaguely remember playing you on stream a couple days ago. We do not survive. We needed one more counter there, chat. Just a little bit short. We got no energy left, and down goes that. We'll jump in here with Burns. And what do you think about that one, Burns?
Hard team comp.
Yeah. Yeah. The fighter plus the Venusaur is pretty tough for us. The Mandibuzz, like we're gonna really struggle to line up the Mandibuzz on both of them. Like we could get the Mandy on one, but not both. And they did a good job of bringing the. It felt pretty weird that they brought the Swampert into the Mandibuzz, but once we saw the Venusaur, it made a little more sense. But yeah, when we looked at the, if I go back to the team builder earlier and the things, Sirfetch'd is on the list of things that we're kind of ABA weak to. Both the Galarian Stunfisk and the Shadow Machamp lose to Sirfetch'd because it keeps the same pace as Shadow Machamp. It's always 5 counters to a move, and Sirfetch'd wins that CMP. So, pretty tough situation for us. Trying to think of what we could do.
Yeah, try to go in with the Machamp to get a little bit of energy.
Yeah.
And then.
Yeah, that was really good.
Get on my.
And then you tried to catch. Yeah, tried to catch the move on the G-Fist.
Yeah, I mean, it threw anyway, so it was okay. But.
No, I like that you came in to get that energy lead because you knew the Sirfetch'd had thrown a couple counters for it, swapped out the first time. So you knew you needed an energy lead on it. It just was unfortunate then that when you're I thought you could farm down that Venusaur and you almost did, and then they brought in the Swampert and your timer wasn't back up yet, and they would have farmed you down if you didn't throw, so you couldn't use the energy from the G-Fist to take the shield, right? You were trying to get the shield out and then have
the rock slide. I threw the rock slide because switch timer wasn't up, and I had to burn some time.
Yeah. So you played it as well as you could. It was that's a really gnarly comp for you, and you did your best. And I don't know if you've been around it, but I always talk about there's top third games where your team gives you just an advantage from the start of the game. And there's the middle third and the bottom third. That's a bottom third game. It's you do your best to try to find win conditions there, but you can't expect to win those kind of games all the time. But I'm ready for the next one if you are.
Okay.
This, Empoleon is another one that's kind of tough for us. Be a little easier if we were Snarlmandy, but they bring in a Kingdra on our Mandibuzz. I don't think this is too bad for us, chat. The Dragon Breath, we want to throw, before he can get to a move. They definitely win CMP, and we don't know if they'll Outrage or Octazooka us. But either way, we want to throw before they can, in case they do throw that Octazooka and they do get that debuff. Outrage does not KO from here, chat. It does a little under half. Mandibuzz is very thick. Looks like we no-shielded and it was that Outrage. Based off the HP, Octazooka would not do nearly that much damage. That means we're still doing full damage, so we can get to another move there. They're going to get to an Octazooka here before we get to this foul play. It is just an Octazooka. I would probably no-shield this and then bring in the Shadow Machamp and counter this down. It's a very likely Empoleon Double Dragon. And they just threw their energy, so they don't have another move, and you should be able to counter this down before it gets to another Octazooka. And then you can throw a Rock Slide at the Dragonite that comes in to get the shield, and then switch to the G-Fisk. And the G-Fisk can then EQ the Empoleon. Looks like he is executing on that play. He's making the same reads I am here. Playing it nice and clean. Dragonite came... Oh, Dragonite tanks the... Interesting. So I guess we just no-shield in this matchup now. Machamp has enough health that it can counter both of these things down. The Empoleon can only go up to 2 moves, right? It won't be able to farm us all the way down. You can see how much damage that did to get to 1 EQ. So it can't farm us all the way down. If it throws here, at most it can come out with 2 moves. We still have 2 shields, so we can just shield our Machamp twice and counter down both Mons. So it should be pretty straightforward too. So we're just shielding everything in this matchup. The question is, do we have enough health? 4, 5. Oh, the Dragonite might... Oh, I think he was trying to see if he could counter all the way down. But the Waterfalls and the Dragon Breath do about the same damage, chat. And so it would be better for us to kill the Penguin sooner. Empoleon. All right, Burns, what do you think about that one?
Yeah, I thought I could farm down with Machamp at the end.
Yeah.
So, round 2 shield flex. Yeah, so I'd farm down and throw a rock slide at the
Yeah,
Dragon Knight.
it was just a little
Was
too
not
much
the
damage
same.
pressure. So
Yeah.
the Dragonite and the Empoleon do essentially the same amount of
The
damage
rogue.
to you with their fast moves. So I think if you just killed that Empoleon as soon as you could, I think you'd be able to just counter down the Dragonite or even just get to a cross chop. I know you probably wouldn't get to a cross chop because you'd be throwing the cross chop at the Empoleon. I think you could just counter down the Dragonite from that much health before it Dragon Breaths you down. I think that was a little safer than going for the farm down there, just because the Empoleon had so much more health than you, and like you're doing super effective counters, but the neutral waterfalls are like still a lot of damage.
Yeah.
So I think it would have been a little better just to try to kill that Empoleon as soon as you could. You still had shield, so it's not like the Dragonite could throw any moves at you.
Yeah.
But I like the way that you played the middle matchup, no shielding the Mandibuzz, making them throw the second move at you, farming down with the Machamp. I like the rock slide on the Dragonite. Once they tanked that rock slide, I honestly felt like maybe you could have just stayed in. Because I was thinking like, well, we'll throw the rock slide, they'll shield it, then we swap out, and then you get to EQ the Empoleon. But once they tank that rock slide, I think you could just stay in and counter them down. And then you would come out with a cross chop ready for the Empoleon. They have to shield the cross chop, and then your G-Fist comes in and you can get to an Earthquake.
Yeah, that no shield threw me off a bit.
Yeah, that was definitely a very weird no shield. Definitely a very weird no shield. But I think that would be the cleanest path through that. Once they do that no shield, like you can just counter them down. Your Machamp's going to come out at pretty low health, but with a move loaded, and the Empoleon can't tank that move. And then once you have that, then the EQ's lethal. So I think that next time you could, because I mean that's a fairly common team, Empoleon Double Dragon. It's gonna be a little less common as more like G-Fisks and stuff come in, but I think that's still a team that it's good to have a plan against. And I think that about halfway through that game, you're executing the plan really clean, and then that no shield threw you off, and we kind of lost sight of the plan. But I think you put yourself in a pretty good position there.
Yeah, I think too. Yeah, and as I swapped into the G-Fisk, I should have just double shield and would be enough.
Yeah, you can also because at that point their shield was down. You also could probably have shielded the G-Fisk from the Hydro Cannon, and just gotten to another Earthquake. That also probably was another winning possibility. Yeah. All right. I'm ready for the next one if you are. We're hoping this is Charm. That's Powder Snow, but they still swap out. We're going to our Mandibuzz. That is the thing we want to keep away from the Powdered Snow guy the most. Duly noted, Bad Hand. Even as a, because I think a large part of what the Mandibuzz is doing in this line is being a safe swap to try to bait out Charmers. And I'm curious if you've run it, if you're running it in this same position, because sometimes running Mons in different positions in the line affects what their optimal moveset is. So like your composition and what role the Mon's playing. So if you are also running a safe swap Mandy behind something weak to fighting, then I would say that in your experience, that would be a very clear analogy to what's happening for this line. But if you're using it in a different situation, it may be that Burns has got a little, what he's doing here is working better for his team. But that is good feedback. And if you want to follow up on that, Bad Hand, are you in the Discord? Like follow-up discussion on that may be a better Discord be a better place for that, so we can like link matchups and stuff. What's up, a larger wow? We're doing some coaching. Got a little distracted by that suggestion, which is a good suggestion, and I value it. And Bad Hand does have a lot of experience with Mandibuzz. Just not sure that it's in the same exact role that what Burns is doing. Because I don't have experience with Mandibuzz, so you and Burns both have more experience with it than I do. Throw in the air slash... I guess this is a matchup where maybe Shadow Ball's a little bit better. We did look at Shadow Ball versus Aerial Ace before the stream. It seemed like Aerial Ace was just as good, maybe a little bit better in some matchups. In the one shields, there was like a matchup that went to a tie instead of a loss, but it wasn't a big difference. We're definitely coming back in with the G-Fisk here. And the question is, what's their back mon? It might be another water type, might be a Jellicent. They might be running Powder Snow Ninetails double water. That's for a bad hand. Burns' lead is weak to fighting, and he has to safe swap his Mandy into whatever it is. So I think it really helps him create an advantage off that swap, having the air slash when you swap it into fighters, which is the thing he's most commonly swapping it into, right? His leads weakens water types and fighters, and so he really needs to be able to pressure those with his Mandibuzz. And I don't think that the Snarl Mandy pressures Sirfetch'd, Goon, or some of the other counter users as well as the Snarl variant does. I think it would really struggle in the shielded situations if they stayed in. But that one, we just couldn't line it up right. We'll bring him back in. All right, Burns, what do you think about that one?
Yeah, good lead, not so good backup. Back Pokemon.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure. I should win Swampert versus Mandibuzz.
I can run that sim on the stream. Mandibuzz, let's see, versus Swampert. And your Mandibuzz isn't quite powered up all the way, right? It's at 48.5. Just make sure I get it in here right so that we're not changing any outcomes. If you... So this is like the default simulation. It looks like you win. There's still a couple mud shots away from the 5th Hydro Cannon, which would be lethal. The 4th one puts you fairly low, and then it looks like you're supposed to be able to KO. So in any even shield situation, it looks like it's Mandibuzz. This is this is Air Slash. We don't have Shadow Ball though, but that doesn't matter. So yeah, it looks like you should be winning the even shield situations unless they are. Looks like they need 2 extra mud shots. 3 mud shots actually. So I'm not exactly sure. Maybe I have to watch it back later and see what happened there. And if you watch this back later, during that game, there was a discussion in chat. I don't know if you can see chat right now, but Bad Hand 555 is in the chat. He also runs Mandibuzz safe swap on his team a bunch, and so he was making a suggestion about he thinks that running Snarl is more efficient than running the Air Slash. But I think it may come down to what his team comp is versus your team comp. But then maybe you can have that discussion with him afterwards, and if we change it up, we change it up, and that'll be good. And otherwise, it might be that his comp's a little... He said all of his mons are neutral to fighting, where your lead is weak to fighting, so it might be a little more helpful on the current line to run the Air Slash, was my initial thought. Yeah, but we can sim it all out later. That's the beauty of being able to have these discussions and learn together. But I don't really have much else for that game. So if you're good to keep going.
Yeah, I was a little bit unsure if to go with Machamp or Mandibuzz into the Swampert.
Yeah. Yeah, it was A9 lead.
Swampert swapping.
And they swapped the Swamp. If you swap to the Machamp behind by a little bit, I think you can still win the 2 shields. Just by, I think you can just counter them down in the 2 shields, I want to say. Let me plug that in real quick. Machamp. If we just don't have any moves in the 2 shields, Shadow Machamp. How close is it to them getting to the last Hydro? Yeah, so you should be able to tank 1 Hydro and essentially counter them down. if it's a normal Swampert with your Shadow Machamp.
Okay.
So if somebody swaps in a Swampert on us, I mean, if it was a Powder Snow Ninetales, which can be really bad but you win switch. Yeah, if we know we can win switch there, I think maybe going to the... If they swap in a Swampert, we go to our Shadow Machamp. It's just going to be... We have to make sure they don't sneak through Mud Shots. Because we probably don't want to try to... We probably want to throw some Cross Chops to get shields.
Yeah.
But you can shield twice. Should be able to survive the one Hydro and come out on top of that matchup. So I like that plan if we see another Swampert swap in on us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let's go to the next one. Yeah, the Hydro Cannon just not enough. If it's a Shadow Swampert, then the Hydro kills you, pretty sure. But maybe you can counter it all the way down? Yeah, a Shadow Swampert, you literally just counter it down before it gets the third one, but that's like a 1 Mud Shot difference, and it would KO you. This is another Ninetales, Powder Snow. They're staying in so far for... I'd like us to... Yeah, I like his... Nope, he goes straight for the Rock Slide. I was thinking it might be a little better to overcharge here some, because they might swap out. Looks like he's lagging a little bit on his phone, too, not able to hit all the circles. But I think he's still in position where the second Rock Slide, if he hits all the circles, all the bubbles, will KO. But hopefully it's not too weird. What's up, St. Georges? Tanking this Weather Ball. We should be able to survive the next one as well. Okay, we need Excellent this time. And then we'll be able to see, chat. If they're like really, really deep in the red, yeah, I don't think that first Excellent. We'll see what the Mud Shot down looks like. Goes for the shield. This shield feels pretty high risk because I don't think that... I mean, I guess we keep pace with them, so we get to another... Swaps out and snipes it. Big counter coming through from the Shadow Machamp. Now we have a little bit of an energy lead for the Water type. Oh, Driftblim. A9 Driftblim, chat? Question mark? This is definitely a matchup where Snarl would be a little bit better, because we're going to lose our Shadow Machamp and go into our Mandy. Actually, we might go back into G-Fisk here just to make them throw energy. They no-shielded the Rock Slide. And just Icy Wind. And then they go to their own Machamp. Regular Machamp. Shiny. The Hulk over there. But I like the choice here to throw our energy. And we can now just come in with our Mandibuzz and Air Slash it down. So I think this is definitely a situation where had we changed to Snarl, we'd be in a little worse spot. Because I think we'd have to get to 2 Aerial Aces. And I looked this up the other day, chat. That Rock Slide does like 41% to a Mandibuzz, maybe 42%. So it does take 2 of them to KO. It's 2 Rock Slides plus all the counters. They can't really just throw one. Like, look at that. It's just... Oh, that's from a Shadow Machamp, it's 41%. From regular Machamp, it's even less. Be 20% less. It's like 30-something%. Whoa. I guess he was really, really confident they were shielding that. Immediately throws here. We're KOing the Driftblim, and now the Machamp gets to farm us down. We're still out of 1 Rock Slide range, but if it gets to 1 Rock Slide plus a Cross Chop, we'd be in trouble. But it's throwing here at our G-Fist because it was... The opponent did not believe they could counter us down before we got to a Rock Slide. And with the Machamp being that low, it would not survive the Rock Slide. Ooh, chat, this would be really close. Really close. Just the Cross Chop. Whew! Opponent's still a counter or 2 away, and we get the win. All right, Burns, what do you think about that one?
It was a close one.
Yes, it was very close.
ABA teams.
It was very close.
Yeah, I thought about, okay, why does he not switch out halfway in the lead, so I shielded
Yes.
my G-Fisk with the Machamp.
Mm-hmm.
So, to see what he has got.
Yeah. And the opponent no-shielded a Rock Slide again. That's been pretty good for us. Our opponent's not shielding those Rock Slides, which I think it's really, really good of you that you do keep throwing those, even though opponents have shields. Like, I talk about it a lot on the channel. A lot of times people get tempted, like, oh, they still have 2 shields, I should bait here. Even in those situations, I still think it's usually better to throw the big move, because either your opponent shields it, in which case you got a shield from them, or the opponent takes just a bunch of damage. So I like the way you're just going for the bigger moves.
Yeah, I get to know first time they don't shield as much as the second time, so it's often on the second move.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I like that read. Let's see, so we stayed with the. Did your phone lag a little bit? Like it looked like you missed a couple bubbles on the first Rock Slide. Was that your phone being laggy?
Rock Slide was a Rock Slide. Yeah, it lagged.
Yeah, that happens. It's understandable. I was without simming it, I don't know, but it seemed like maybe if we hit all the bubbles there, like maybe we could go for a farm down on the A9, but without hitting it, it was gonna be a little out of range. So I like that you just went for the snipe with your Machamp. I felt that was a really good play to make sure they didn't get off another move.
Yeah, I thought I had to save my G-Fisk if they don't swap.
Yep.
Because there's something up.
I agree. That's a really good read on their composition. I am ready for the next one if you are. That's a pretty good lead for us. Why is he swapping out here? Because I would expect any Gengar in the lead to be running Shadow Punch Sludge. And the G-Fisk just absolutely does not care about that. And if we swap out here and lose switch, then we have a Machamp lined up on the Gengar, which feels really high risk. So I'm still pretty concerned about that swap out. We'll ask him about it later. It's a matchup we win, and they're likely to have anti-dark types, right? Like they had a ghost lead. Well, we do bait out a steel type here. And Polion we often see with dragons or Venusaurs. Looks like we shielded that last Hydro Cannon. We get to another foul play here. But opponent, I think, will be able to waterfall us down. Oh, but they give switch back up. Take shield advantage. They bring in a Galvantula. Can the G-Fisk kill the Galvantula and the Gengar? Or do we just bring it? Maybe we just bring in Machamp here. It can tank one move from this. Nope, he goes to the G-Fisk first. Maybe he's going to save the Machamp to reset the debuffs off the G-Fisk. But I don't mind bringing in Machamp there. Lunge is resisted. It's very likely they were just like instantly throwing. And if we no-shield this, why didn't we just stay in at the beginning? Oh, they actually have Shadow Ball. Goes to Machamp? Even with Shadow Ball, I still think that favors the G-Fisk, chat. We'll pull up that matchup here, because that's the one I want to look at afterwards. Stunfisk into Gengar with Shadow Ball. I mean, this triple resisted cross chop not going to do very much. But we get the shield. Will the opponent have the heads up to go for a farm down? If they're at 2 moves here, that's pretty bad for us. They still do have that Galvantula with some health. All right, so we need to throw this, and then we need to farm down the Galv. I don't think a lunge kills us from here, but the lunge plus the Yeah, it's probably going to be too much damage, chat. I don't think we survive. Don't think we survive. Yeah, he was like playing it right to the edge there, seeing if he could go for this farm down, but it didn't look like they could. Burns just a little bit short on damage here, and then one Shadow Claw is going to come through, and oh, there to move loaded as well. Yeah, that's tough. We'll definitely ask about that opening matchup. All right, Burns, what do you think about that one?
I don't know how to play that lead.
So I pulled up that lead, and I've got it over here on stream, and G-Fisk does win all the even shield situations. It even wins against Gengar if the G-Fisk shields once and Gengar shields twice. And I'm guessing that you can win most of those with just Rock Slide, because Gengar is really squishy. Yeah, that's going straight Rock Slide. You don't even need Earthquake. If you just go straight Rock Slide, you're going to win that matchup. And you never have to shield the first move. You can just shield the second one if you want. But that's a pretty good matchup for you. Even with Shadow Ball. Which I wasn't sure at the beginning if they had Shadow Ball, but then they showed that they did. But even with Shadow Ball, as long as you shield once, you win the matchup with your G-Fisk. I think you're still in kind of a... I guess if you do that, they come in with the Empoleon and farm you down, which is probably only a couple... Looking at the health values on here, it's probably only like 2 or 3 waterfalls. Then your Machamp can come in, and depending on how many times they shielded their Gengar, can just like beat up the Empoleon and potentially also Rock Slide the Galvantula.
That's true, yeah.
So I think on that Gengar lead, you probably want to stay in. It's a reasonable read that they might have something in the back that's bad for Mandibuzz, so like swapping to the Mandy to pull it out. But I don't think that most times if they have a Gengar lead, they'll have anything that's really an anti-fighter in the back. Because the Gengar is a very strong anti-fighter, right? It triple resists the fighting moves. And it's the things it's afraid of are like dark types, and anything else that does like high fast move pressure, like Dragonite, which is why then we saw the Galvantula and the Steel type behind it, right, to try to shore that up. Galvantula, like it's a bug, it resists fighting, but it's like so squishy that I think Shadow Machamp beats it in most situations. Just punching it. So yeah, I'd stay in on that one next time. I think you played the rest of the game pretty clean, but just kind of in a bad spot once they were able to bring their Empoleon in on your Mandibuzz.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. So, I mean, we went 1-4 that set, but I think at least 2 of those were pretty winnable, so I still feel okay about the team. I think, had we played the team optimally, we win at least 3 of those games. So I wouldn't... Like, I try to remind myself of that when I'm like... even this morning, I was like changing my team around some, and I had a 1-4 set, and I was like, wait, 2 of those games I made mistakes in. If I played those better, this would be a 3-2 set, so it's not the team that it needs to change. What I need to do is just play it a little better. So I think that the team still feels okay, and I'm good to go into the next set if you are. We still got... It's a Tuesday. We got 33 more minutes. Yes! So we lose a little bit of rating today, but we're learning things, and that will turn into winning more rating later. Also helps us.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean,
yeah.
It's a new team. Never played Mandibuzz, Shadow Machamp a little bit, so...
Yeah. No, it seems like they pair together really well. Having the 2 really bulky things with the Shadow Machamp so you can like save shields for it is really good strat. I like that. So it seems pretty good. I'm ready for the next one. Glad to have you in here with us today. It is a great day for Pokemon battles. Been enjoying your streams in the morning. I like the new backdrop when it isn't trying to attack you. Opponent swaps in the Gengar. This is definitely a situation the Mandibuzz likes. We 100% do not shield this. I think it takes 3 Sludge Bombs to kill. If they're running Sludge Bomb. If they're running Shadow Ball, I think we can Air Slash it all the way down. Based off how much health we're missing, I assume that was a Sludge Bomb. But we did not see it. Focus Blast also not like super threatening to Mandibuzz. But I think we just charged up to one extra move here. Okay, can we get to... I think we always get to this, right? I don't think that one Weather Ball kills from here. Mandibuzz being as thick as it is. Alright, P. James, see you later. Get that Air Slash. Aerial Ace. They can't farm down here. We need to another one. So I think they just charged up to 2. I think that was like 9 Powder Snows to get to 2 Weather Balls. And now they're throwing here at the Mandibuzz, which does KO. We come in with the Machamp. We're going to have to shield once here, I think. And the question is, can the G-Fist beat whatever's in the back down 1 shield? Because I think they swap out here. We're not seeing it happen in real time, but we can hypothesize that was, in fact, them throwing and then swapping out to a Shadow Gallade. Not a great matchup for the G-Fisk down a shield. See Burns going for the bait here, lagging a little bit. It's not just on the connection to me, it's also on the connection to Niantic, but the opponent shields. We get another one off. The Abomasnow is on low health, and I don't think it has another move loaded, so the Machamp should just be able to counter it down. So it's just a matter of killing this Gallade. No shield to the close combat. Down goes the G-Fisk. In comes the Machamp. We're going to tank 1 counter here, and then be able to cross-chop this Gallade. Oh, but it's going to be able to shield that. Hopefully we don't let a Confusion sneak through. I think we lose the game if we let a Confusion sneak through. Oh, chat, this is going to be really close. It looked like we let the Confusion through, chat. Like, that's why our health went from half to there between that our move and their move. And the opponent did charge up to 2 moves into the G-Fisk. That's a tough mon in the back for us. All right, Burns, what do you think about that one?
Gallade in the back is tough.
Yeah.
I don't know. Only thing I should have built up to the second Earthquake to threaten the shield.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they get to 2 close combats there.
Yeah. So I can look that up. If they get to 2 close combats before we get to 2 Leaf Blade, 2 Earthquake, sorry, or Rock Slide plus 1 Earthquake. Rock Slide EQ. So that's the true 1 shield with baits. We have 1 shield. So it takes them. It looks like they win, and it was Shadow. So then the EQ does KO. Yeah, so they shouldn't be able to get to 2 moves. They shouldn't be able to get to a Leaf Blade and a close combat before you get to a Rock Slide and an Earthquake. Because it takes them 4 plus 3. Yeah, because it lines up really well with these numbers. So it takes them 7 to get to a Leaf Blade close combat. And in the time it takes them to get 7, you get 14 mud shots, which is 90 plus 36, 126, which is 100, and you only need 110. So, yeah.
7 and 5. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you should be able to go up to the EQ, throw a Rock Slide, and then go up to the EQ again before they can get to 2 moves. But I liked the call to no shield the G-Fist there. It felt like you could be able to maybe kill it with the Machamp, but I think I couldn't tell because it like kind of the stream got a little weird right there. If they snuck through a Confusion when you threw your cross chop.
Don't think so.
Don't think so. Okay, just the Shadow Confusions hurt just so bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if you go for the EQ there, then they have to shield it, and then I think the Machamp can win that matchup with that cross chop that you got to throw instead of them having a shield for it.
Definitely with the people from the close combat.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. I think that you're reading that well, and if you played it again, I think you could win that one. I am ready for the next one if you are. Been a while since Dr. Roast Beef did trivia during a dojo day, but that also has happened in the past. Sweet. Air slash Charizard. So this is probably pretty good for us. They resisted air slash. They swap out to a Snorlax. I think it is in our best interest to charge up to another Rock Slide before we swap out, but he might just go straight to the Machamp. And we want to kill this as soon as possible. Because this Body Slam really hurts chat. Okay, he's making the read, has played this matchup before, is going to go to very low health to counter this down. 2, 3, 4. I mean, that's very low health, chat, but that means he gets this Rock Slide off on the Charizard and only gives up 1 Air Slash worth of energy. So not too bad. And did guarantee switch. So should, like, that is still conveying some advantage, right, chat? We won switch, that's an advantage, and also we're coming at it with energy, so we can get a shield here, that's another advantage. So even though that felt like a riskier way from my perspective to play it, Burns had a good strategy there. I think that we shield this, chat. There we go. Shield comes up, it is the Blast Bird. So we're back on even shields. That's the energy our opponent had from earlier, right? Because they charged up and swapped out, saving energy, but we threw our energy. So we, from the middle matchup, we brought out energy, got a shield, but they still had energy to pull a shield from us here. So we're back fairly even, but we outpaced Charizard pretty heavily here. Air Slash 3 energy per turn, Mud Shot 4.5 energy per turn, 50% more energy. And we just have to get to 45, and Blast Burn is 50. So really not a good position for them. And their backmon is a Swampert, and now we're a Mandibuzz up a shield on a Swampert. An opponent does not want to play that out. GG to our opponent. What'd you think about that one, Burns?
Yeah, it was pretty clean.
Yeah.
I mean, they caught the move on my 6th Mud Shot. That was a little unfortunate.
Yeah.
On the other side, it was the amount of damage, so I could farm down with my Machamp, I think.
Yes, you got there just before they got to another Body Slam. I was a little hesitant on, because in my mind I was thinking like maybe we stay in with the G-Fist to charge up another EQ so that we another Rock Slide, and then swap to the Machamp, because I thought we would have to shield once either way. But you read that damage amount like spot on, that you were able to come in and just get a perfect farm down there with the no shield. So I liked the way that you read that and how it played out.
Yeah, so not much to play differently, I guess.
Yeah.
Here.
No, I think you play and Air Slash Charizard, chat, I don't think is particularly good. If you were in the opponent's position there, I think if you want a flying type move on your Charizard, just Elite TM it to Wing Attack. It's better. And if you don't want to spend that Elite TM, then just use Fire Spin. It's more energy per turn than the Air Slash, and I think it actually just has more good matchups than Air Slash does. Like, Fire Spin helps you with like A9, Abomasnow, Ferrothorn. It's neutral against the fighters, but it's giving you more energy. So I generally encourage you not to run Air Slash Charizard. We saw there that the G-Fist matchup, really good for G-Fist when the Charizard generates less energy and is resisted on those Air Slashes. Yeah, so I think you played it pretty well. I'm ready for the next one if you are. But what I've been tracking through the meta, it has not been very Clefable friendly. A lot of Talonflame and G-Fisk in the back, some Skarmories, and I generally don't play that line super hard for switch. I play to try to generate a shield advantage, and so if being up a shield and then your fairies into a steel type still feels real bad. But I guess if you tried to play the Snorlax more aggressively for switch, maybe the Clefable could do a little more work. It just has been working the way I like running the team. And just generally speaking, the Kingdra has felt a little more underwhelming this season. I'm a big fan of the Shadowlax Kingdra, have been a big fan of it for a long time, but a lot of the XLs that are coming in, just these new mons in the meta, right? They're strong, they have more bulk, they have better pace, And so it's a lot of matchups that are tougher for Kingdra. Kingdra struggles to create advantages in those matchups. It can still win a fair number of them, but it struggles to create advantages out of those matchups. And so it has been working as well as I like. So I've been, we'll be experimenting with some other stuff off stream probably. I played off stream today a couple sets with a team that didn't have a Kingdra on it. So I'm not sure that we will be super heavy on the Kingdra going forward, but we'll see what the meta does. Tank this Rock Slide, as we talked before, even from Shadow Machamp, not really a lethal threat. We want to throw here. If they go for a counter down here, that's kind of scary. If they come out with 2 moves, we're in a bad spot. Oh, they just let it go? Okay. Abomasnow comes back in. It's going to go for a farm down, but it's also going to be sad trying to farm down Amandabuzz. And we get to a move here, I think. Oh, they throw first. Or did we throw already? It lagged there, so I don't know, chat. We did not throw. 1, 2... we can tank 1 Weather Ball, but it depends on what the other Mon is, if that's our optimal play. Slideshow coaching is a little hard, chat, but we're doing our best. It is a Talonflame. I think our only win condition here is catching on our G-Fisk. He goes for the bait here, trying to save any turns they can. Opponent does... Oh, wait. Opponent just going to farm down our G-Fisk. I don't think this Rock Slide kills a Talonflame. It'll be close. Nope. Machamp doesn't have a move loaded. Does it? Nope. And this will be a Brave Bird to close it out. Yeah, I think he went for the catch there and didn't get it. But then was able to throw the Rock Slide, but still just not quite enough. All right, Burns, what do you think about that one?
Was the same thing as last. So he stayed in with the Abomasnow.
Yeah.
At first, so gotta preserve some energy on my G-Fisk. And yeah, I thought save a sack swap is my only option, but my opponent thought that as well, I guess.
Yeah. Nope, I like that read.
I lag a little bit from the Rock Slide with the bubbles again. I don't know. Because I hit it only Braid. Don't know if this was the...
Oh wait, you got only Great on the Rock Slide against the Talonflame?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I missed 2 bubbles or 3. I don't know. It was not much, but a little bit.
Yeah, that would be really, really... I think that might have been... that might have been game. I'm not sure, but I think... I don't think there's any way to check that specifically in PD Poke. I think getting a Great is at least like a... It's like at least 8% less damage. And given how much health they were at the end there, that might have been the difference. I like that you went for the sack swap. Opponent read that pretty well, but then you were able to get to the move because you'd save some energy. I think you played it pretty well.
It's all about do they over tap and wait 1 Incinerate or do a swap right after my move?
That's always, that's the part of it that's just kind of, it's not random necessarily because your opponent's actually a human being making a decision, but it sure feels random when you don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So I don't, maybe hitting the bubbles there was all we needed. That was the only difference we needed because the Abomasnow was really low and we just need to like punch it one more time. And the Shadow Machamp still had enough health on it that 1 Weather Ball wouldn't kill you. So even if they like kind of farm down your G-Fisk, as long as they only got to a Weather Ball, you were still okay. So I think that you played that game well. The team did its job, and had we not had that lag, I think you win that game. And so stuff like that happens to all of us, right? And it's important for us to have the perspective that like there's going to be more games. This isn't the end of the season. Like not tilting is really important in GBL because there will be things that happen that will try to tilt us. And so be able to like look at it from a perspective and be like, look, If it didn't make that error, we would have won that game. The team's still doing well. I still played that well. The game had an issue. Like, we'll keep playing, and over the long run, we have in theory, about as many game issues as our opponents do. This is just one that wasn't going to go our way. So we can still look at those parts of it.
I'm expecting a draw in Premier in Ultra League because I didn't play much in that league, so
yeah,
it's natural. Plus, maybe it's the lag also because the streaming over Discord a little bit could be.
Might be stressing it a little bit, but it's been doing okay, and I think we're learning things, and chat's learning things. So I think it's still been a pretty positive experience. We still have time for probably 2 or 3 more games if you're still up for it.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Let's do it.
I'm not like the bestest ever at sending or opening gifts. Like, I'm okay. A lot of people make jokes about battlers being really bad about it. I'm decent. I do it at least every other day. That's the commitment that I try to make. Especially right now because I'm low on Ultra Balls. So trying to clean out the other stuff and open gifts to get more of those. Ooh, an Ice Beam Jellicent. Hex, Ice Beam Shadow Ball probably. Snarl would be a little bit better in this matchup. But Air Slash and Dark Pulse still, and Foul Play still going to be doing enough work, I think. Because we keep exactly the same pace as they do. We just need to hit them with 2 moves, and they have to hit us with 3. The second Ice Beam will not be lethal, and they can't really hex us down. Actually, the 13 per hex, they're going to get, at some point they get ahead of us. I don't know if it's the second or the third one. They end up 1 ahead. They just tank that. We win the zeros. 1 Air Slash definitely killed there. Haven't seen it yet, chat, but we won switch because that Air Slash killed it. There we go. They come in with a Galv. Worth noting here, both these moves are neutral, and Foul Play just a more efficient move than Aerial Ace. So even though it is a bug, it's a electric bug, so we want to throw the dark move at it. You DM me on Discord? Okay, cool. We go to our G-Fisk. They have a G-Fisk, and we get to bring out the Machamp, and they don't want to play this game anymore. All right, Burns, what do you think about that one?
It was pretty much hard counter team.
Yep.
Had a little slow start in the game. They swapped.
Yeah. You were a hex or 2 behind, but still okay. Yeah, that was definitely a top third game.
Yeah,
we won lead pretty hard.
Yeah.
They swapped in a Ghost, and we had a Dark type. Felt pretty solid. And then the poor G-Fisk in the back, it did not want to...
Yeah, not much. It was pure alignment in this case.
Mm-hmm. Nope, I liked your decision to no shield in the middle match, the Mandibuzz. Like, sometimes it might be tempting, like, to shield there, because, like, oh, maybe they have Ice... Like, even with the Ice Beam, so they still have to throw 3 of them to kill you. So it was a good read there to no shield that and not give up anything.
No shield. No shield the first 2 because if I have to, I go for switch.
Yeah.
But the hexes don't do nothing though.
Yeah.
I always can shield the last one, I guess.
Yeah, I like that. Like that call. We don't want to shield early because then our opponent can let it go down, and like it's a matchup that we win either way, and so it's better to win it and keep the shields than use the shields and win. So. And especially with the Galv, right? We know that they're going to farm us down afterwards anyways. So being on as low as health as possible is good for us. So they get less farm. No, I like that. Played it well. It was definitely a matchup that was good for our team. And showing that some teams, like it's worth noting, like some teams do well when they win lead. Some teams do badly when they win lead because like we don't have, like sometimes people like you don't have a good answer to the swaps most people will have. But I think this team's doing a good job when it wins lead of having good counter swaps. Well, let's jump to the next one.
Okay, then.
Yeah, chat. Sometimes you'll like build your team and you're like, I'm covering my lead's weaknesses. But what you're not covering is what's in the back line of teams that your lead wins. So like if you like, I have a Galv lead, it beats water types. Sometimes that team like won't carry a good like rock answer because you're thinking about other things you're weak to, like a G-Fisk or something. I could think of a better example if I took more time, but I'm trying to pay attention to this game. We've got 2 Hundo Best Buddy G-Fisks throwing mud shots back and forth. Shields the first one. I like that. We don't want to go down all that health early. And the Rock Slide doesn't save that much energy. I don't know what that move was, but we're throwing an EQ at them. Getting a little lag on the charge move. Hopefully he's not getting that lag and is able to hit all those bubbles. Looks like this animation stopping a little bit short, so maybe they did Rock Slide us the first time and they're throwing an EQ. Nope. We're going straight to our charge move. Opponent shields again. Have not been able to, like, Chad, if we knew exactly how many we snuck, they snuck, denied, not denied, exactly who won CMP each time, it might have impacted whether or not we shield there or not, but it seems like Burns has a pretty good idea of what's been going on. Oh, just the great, please still KO. That definitely was the bubbles. Like, if we got an excellent there, we win this one, so we need to keep track of that through this match, because I think we're going to die here and lose switch. And that was definitely because of the bubbles. I still come with Machamp here. They're going to have some kind of answer for Machamp, but Machamp can kill a lot of those answers if it's up just a little bit of energy and shields are down. But we'll see what their anti-fighters are. It's a Gallade. That's not good. 1, 2, 3. Why are they staying in, chat? They're going to close combat and swap out. 4. They're going to close combat and swap out. I mean, they probably have another anti-fighter. But yeah, here's the close combat, and then they're going to swap out to go the debuff to a Venusaur. Can Mandibuzz actually kill both of these? I think when Aerial Ace is super effective, it is more efficient than Foul Play, because Foul Play is not great. It's not a... you guys have heard me say a lot in the Tropius matchup specifically that like Leaf Blade is better. Neutral Leaf Blade better than super effective Aerial Ace. Foul Play not on the same tier of move as Leaf Blade, so it makes sense that they're throwing just the Aerial Aces here. 1. We want to overfarm here a little bit, but not too much. We can't afford to tank even a Frenzy Plant here. We missed 1 bubble, but I think we still, like, this is great. Please, not the bubbles. Okay, get the kill there. Gallade comes back in. It cannot farm us down. You want to go for Aerial Ace here. Foul Play is only neutral because of the fighting and psychic. So I think Aerial Ace was a better move here. Hopefully we still get the KO, chat. Appreciate those follows, Sahara91 and Hardasa, but we still get the win. All right, what'd you think about that one?
I was very happy about the close combat on the Mandibuzz,
yes.
I have to say. But at the start again, I didn't know how much shots they got or they didn't get because the start was so laggy.
Yes.
So they were both the same Pokemon, those level 51.
Mm-hmm.
And they were then 1 mud shot faster.
Mm-hmm.
But I snuck through at the first Earthquake from them.
Yeah.
I think they got it back, but then I didn't recognize if they snuck one through again.
I mean, you definitely threw the third one first, so... And then I noticed that you the bubbles lagged again, and you got a great on that, and their G-Fist lived at like a sliver, and I was like, oh man, we're have to.
Yeah. The lag is atrocious today.
Glad that didn't. I mean, you still got the win, so that's pretty good to have lagged and lost lead and still win the game. Pretty good.
So I guess Gallade is good if I have the Mandy again.
Yeah. So in the Gallade Mandibuzz matchup, why were you throwing Foul Play at the Gallade?
I thought that they do the same amount of damage.
So Foul Play and Aerial Ace cost the same amount of energy, but against Gallade, Foul Play is 45 damage and Aerial Ace is 56. So it's the same as the Venusaur. You threw the the Aerial Ace at the Venusaur, which is the same situation, right? Yeah. Foul Play is neutral, Aerial Ace super effective, but then against the Gallade, again, Foul Play is neutral there. The fighting resists it, Psychic is weak to it, so it's neutral, and the Aerial Ace is super effective against the fighting. So next time you won't have to pull off that fancy snipe at the end by bringing your Machamp if you just throw the Aerial Ace. But hey, look, positive set that time. just kind of takeaways from today. I think you did a good job of handling when there was lag, like recognizing like that was lag, and still staying cool about it. That's really helpful because GBL do be like that sometimes. I think the team worked pretty well. It felt like it was able to win most of the games. There were some that we lost because we made mistakes, but that happens. We learn, and then we can win them the next time. So it feels pretty good. We'll have that discussion in the Discord afterwards about move sets. Seems like there's some cases for air slash, some for snarl, and then also some debate over if you should be running aerial ace or shadow ball. But I would be cautious of running a foul play and shadow ball. That seems a little weird to me. There are Umbreons out there. We didn't have to fight any of them today, so like little recency bias. But I think running the dark and ghost moves is a little rough.
The mirror matchup.
Yeah. So I mean, we can look at the other matchups, but I think you had a pretty good read on what moves helped it in this team, and I think that it did well. So I think so too. Yeah. So I think you're in a pretty good spot going forward in Ultra this season, and this is your first season. You said you're really trying to hit it in Ultra, so I think you're off to a good start.
Yeah. Thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, you're welcome. And this was courtesy of Abelicious. Abelicious, thank you for gifting this coaching session over to Burns. Appreciate you and what you do to support the channel and the community, Abe. Hope you're having an awesome day today. On the schedule, I did mention the Discord several times, chat. Here's a link to that Discord. It's our Discord there. We do have an area for asking questions and discussion, also about sharing how GBL is going for you. People sometimes share their teams in there, how their sets are going that day. If you have a bad day, people will be like, oh man, that's tough, and try to rally around you a little bit to help you get in a good mindset for tomorrow's. Or if you have a great day, people will cheer you on. Just a pretty positive and welcoming community. And then there's also an area in there for practice. If once you join, you go to the feedback, tools and feedback section. There's a role select with a little bot message. If you click the Machamp under that, it gives you the practice partner role, so you can see the practice mat area. You can go there and use that role to try to find people to practice with, or play your sets live in the practice area, and people can then watch and hang out with you there. Thank you again, Burns, for coming in today and sharing your games with us. I know playing on stream can be a little stressful, but I appreciate you being willing to share your games, and it was a good time having you here. Thank you. I'd like to thank you for joining us today in the dojo. If you value these coaching VODs, you can give this video a like, you can subscribe to my channel, or you can leave some feedback below in the comments. Also, in the description are links to my Twitter and Twitch. You can follow me there for additional content. I live stream on Twitch Monday through Friday starting at noon Pacific. I would love to have you join us there so we can learn and grow together.